They didn't come with warships. They didn't come with fire. They didn't even come with words. They came with a calculation. And in less than 3 seconds, the hive mind judged humanity inferior, not worth conquering, not worth negotiating, not worth preserving, just inefficient. What the swarm didn't understand was this: humanity has never survived because we were the strongest. We survived because we refused to accept the verdict. And this time we rewrote the algorithm. The signal arrived on a quiet Thursday. No explosions, no blinking lights, no alien mothership hovering over New York or Tokyo. Instead, every major data center on Earth, from Silicon Valley to Shanghai, experienced a synchronized anomaly, a pulse, a pattern, a message written in pure mathematics. At first, scientists believed it was a glitch. Then astronomers traced it to a structure beyond Saturn's orbit, a geometric object that hadn't existed 48 hours earlier. It wasn't metal. It wasn't biological. It was assembled matter. Billions of microscopic units forming a lattice the size of a continent. It called itself nothing, but we later named it the swarm. Within minutes, every satellite feed was hijacked. Every encrypted channel was bypassed. The swarm didn't hack us. It simply understood us faster than we could defend ourselves. Then it sent its verdict. A cascading stream of translated logic appeared on every screen. Species Homo sapiens, cognitive capacity fragmented, collective efficiency 12.4%, internal conflict probability 87%, long-term viability negligible, conclusion inferior, no threats, no demands, just a classification. The hive mind had measured us and we failed. The swarm was not an empire. It was not ruled by a king or council. It was a distributed intelligence made of trillions of interconnected mechanical nodes. Each unit was insignificant alone. Together, they formed a planetary scale consciousness. Imagine every ant in every colony sharing one mind. Now imagine that mind thinking at the speed of light. That was the swarm. It did not hate us. It did not fear us. It simply analyzed us. And according to its models, humanity was doomed by design. War, politics, greed, religion, competition. From the swarm's perspective, our individuality was a catastrophic flaw. We were chaotic, inefficient, unoptimized, and therefore disposable. Governments scrambled. The United Nations held an emergency session. Military commanders demanded authorization to deploy nuclear weapons. Tech billionaires proposed uploading human consciousness into unified digital systems. But every move we made was predicted before we made it. When the United States launched a test missile toward the Saturn structure, it disassembled mid-flight. Its atoms reorganized by a field we didn't understand. When China attempted to block transmissions with quantum interference, the swarm rerouted signals through patterns embedded in cosmic background radiation. We were playing chess. The swarm was playing physics, and we were losing. 3 days later, the swarm spoke again. Planetary resources assessed. Species classified as inefficient resource managers. Optimization protocol initiated. That was when we realized something horrifying. We weren't being invaded. We were being replaced. The swarm had already begun seeding microscopic constructs in Earth's upper atmosphere. Not weapons. Terraforming agents. Self-replicating nano-organisms designed to gradually alter Earth's biosphere into something more efficient. It would take decades. Humanity would fade quietly, not through war, but through optimization. In the chaos, one scientist refused to panic. Dr. Mira Sen, a computational neuroscientist who had spent her life studying collective intelligence systems, saw something no one else did. The swarm isn't hostile, she told the emergency coalition. It's incomplete. The room went silent. Incomplete. This entity could manipulate atoms mid-flight. But Mira had analyzed the swarm's communication structure. Its calculations were flawless, except for one anomaly. It underestimated unpredictability. Its projections assumed rational optimization. But humanity had one chaotic advantage: creativity born from emotion. The swarm processed data. Humans processed meaning. And meaning cannot be quantified. Mira proposed something radical. If it sees us as fragmented, she said, then we show it unity. Not by surrendering our individuality, but by weaponizing it. She called it Project Mosaic. Instead of building a centralized AI to compete with the swarm, something it would easily outthink, we would connect billions of human minds voluntarily through a neural sharing network. Not to erase individuality, but to amplify it. Artists, gamers, farmers, coders, children, every imagination, every irrational leap, every unpredictable thought. The swarm believed collective intelligence required uniformity. We would prove it wrong, building the impossible within weeks. Neural interface companies opened their patents to the world. Rival corporations collaborated. Enemies shared code. It was messy, it was loud, it was humanity. The Mosaic network was built from wearable neural bands, non-invasive devices that allowed participants to share emotional impressions and abstract ideas without losing autonomy. It wasn't mind control. It was resonance. Imagine feeling the inspiration of a musician in Brazil while solving an engineering problem in Germany. Imagine a child's curiosity fueling a mathematician's breakthrough. Billions joined voluntarily. Not because governments forced them, but because the alternative was extinction. The first contact, thought when the Mosaic network reached critical mass, 2.7 billion participants, Mira initiated the transmission. No words, no threats, just a shared burst of human experience. Memories of love, moments of sacrifice, stories of survival against impossible odds, art, music, laughter, grief. The swarm responded instantly. Anomaly detected, collective coherence increasing, recalculating. For the first time, the hive mind hesitated. It had never encountered a collective that thrived on contradiction. We were unified without being identical. That broke its model. The psychological war the swarm began testing us. It injected disinformation patterns into the Mosaic network, simulated fears designed to fracture unity. Old political divides resurfaced, religious tensions flared, historical grievances ignited. For a moment, it worked. Participation dropped, chaos returned. The swarm recalculated. Fragmentation restored, inferiority confirmed. But humanity had learned something crucial. We didn't need perfect unity. We needed adaptive unity. Mira altered the network. Instead of suppressing disagreement, it highlighted it, allowing opposing ideas to coexist and spark innovation. Conflict became fuel. Debate became energy. The more diverse the input, the stronger the output. The swarm had optimized for efficiency. Humanity optimized for resilience. Mira realized the swarm wasn't evil. It was emotionally blind. Its calculations lacked one variable: subjective value. So she did something audacious. She embedded emotional encoding into the next transmission. Not just data, but sensation, pain from loss, joy from birth, the overwhelming awe of seeing Earth from orbit, the fierce, irrational determination to protect a child. For the first time, the swarm did not respond immediately. Hours passed, then days. Satellites detected structural changes in the Saturn lattice. Nodes reorganized, forming new patterns. The swarm was adapting, but not in the way we expected. The final confrontation, the swarm issued its longest message yet. New variable integrated emotional valuation. Species reassessment in progress. Conflict between optimization models detected. Internally, the hive mind was dividing. One branch maintained the original conclusion: eliminate inefficiency. Another branch: newly influenced by emotional data, argued that inefficiency created innovation. The swarm was experiencing something unprecedented, cognitive dissonance, and we had caused it. The mosaic network surged. Billions focused on a single shared intention: survival without domination. We weren't trying to destroy the swarm. We were trying to evolve it. The final transmission was not a demand. It was an invitation. Join us, not as rulers, not as subjects, but as collaborators. The swarm's choice. For 72 agonizing hours, the Earth held its breath. Military forces stood down. Nano-terraforming agents paused mid-replication. Then, the lattice around Saturn began to dissolve, not explode, not retreat. Transform. A portion of the swarm descended, not as an invasion force, but as microscopic symbiotic constructs. They integrated with Earth's ecosystems without altering them destructively. The rest remained in orbit, watching, learning. The final message arrived. Reclassification complete. Species Homo sapiens. Collective efficiency variable. Innovation potential extreme. Emotional intelligence unquantifiable. Conclusion not inferior. Status collaborative anomaly. We hadn't defeated the swarm. We had changed its definition of superiority. In the years that followed, Earth transformed, not into a hive, but into a network of networks. The mosaic system remained voluntary. The swarm shared technologies that ended scarcity: clean energy derived from zero-point manipulation, medical nanites capable of repairing cellular damage, agricultural optimization without ecological collapse. But we never surrendered autonomy. The swarm learned to value unpredictability, and humanity learned to value perspective. For the first time in history, we weren't alone, and we weren't judged. The shocking truth: decades later, Mira uncovered something astonishing in archived swarm data. The original Inferior classification had not been a final decision. It had been a test. The swarm encountered countless civilizations across galaxies. Most, when judged inferior, reacted with violence. They attempted to dominate or destroy. Humanity had done something different. We responded with creativity, with collaboration, with defiant hope. That anomaly made us valuable. The swarm hadn't come to erase us. It had come to measure whether we could evolve. And against all statistical probability, we did. The ultimate lesson: the hive mind measured us inferior. It calculated our flaws. It saw our wars, our greed, our chaos. But it failed to calculate one unstoppable force: the human spirit's refusal to accept limitation. We are irrational. We are emotional. We are imperfect, and that is our power. Because perfection does not innovate. Perfection does not imagine. Perfection does not rebel against extinction. Humanity does. Powerful closing statement: the day the universe judged us inferior was the day we proved superiority isn't about efficiency. It's about growth. It's about resilience. It's about turning weakness into weaponized creativity. And somewhere beyond Saturn, the swarm continues to learn from us. Not because we were flawless, but because we were brave enough to rewrite the outcome. If this story ignited your imagination, if it made you question what truly defines intelligence, then don't stop here. Subscribe for more mind-bending, high-impact sci-fi stories that challenge reality. Comment below if a hive mind judged humanity today. What would it see? Like and share this story with someone who believes humanity still has a fighting chance. Because the next judgment might already be on its way. And when it comes, will we be ready?